Welcome back, everybody. New season, new intro. Rich, what'd you think of that?
Oh, it's epic.
It's pretty sick, right?
Now in the big league. Now in the big league.
I know the Gallowgate people did well. They did well.
They did.
Yeah, no, I'm loving it. It's great to be back. How you doing?
Awesome. It's awesome. I'm doing great. Yeah, I'm doing great. How are you doing?
I'm doing fantastic. I mean, I haven't been able to sleep all week because I'm just counting down the seconds.
Exactly. That's what it is.
Like Saturday. Bring it on.
That's it. When Saturday comes. It's been a bit of a humid week here in San Diego, so I've been asking people, it's like, oh, we haven't slept well, because when the temperature changes here, it just messes up all the rhythms, you know. But
yeah,
we have the excuse of Saturday as well. So
yeah, it's definitely a mixture of the weather is humid and awful this week, but also, you know, football's coming back finally.
That's right.
It's been a weird summer. Like, we're supposed to have World Cup, don't have it. You know, following kind of what's going on with our club and football in general. Obviously, I think like probably the biggest highlight for the summer outside of our club would be the ladies bringing it home, eh?
Hey, look at that. It's coming home. It came home.
It came home. Ladies did it.
They did it in a dramatic way as well. You know, Germany 1-1. They pulled it back. You think it's going to penalties. I mean, oh my God, here we go again. But no, the ladies did a great job and brought it home. It's fantastic.
Yeah, no, it was awesome, and you know, well done to England, and I'm just so happy. I'm happy for you. I'm happy for all of my English brothers and sisters, and I'm really glad that you know that could have been accomplished this summer. That was awesome.
They did a great job. The team is progressing well. It's just awesome to see the game of women's football, like so many record attendances.
Yeah,
in the games, like solid crowds, just brilliant. You know.
Yeah, it's definitely I've seen such a massive uptick with women's football, and more so I think than I've ever seen before, and it was just to ride that wave and have England do what they did is just phenomenal.
So cool.
You know, I mean, biasly, I still want USA to win the World Cup for the women, but
all right.
Yeah, but,
the men, no chance. You know, that's it. Huh? For the men, no chance. You know,
for the men, no. Come on, England.
Right? That's it.
Yeah. But we're not here to talk about that. We're here to talk about Newcastle.
We are. That's it. More important.
So I mean, it's been a summer.
You know, it has. I mean, you know, when did the season finish? The season finished like around start of May. I can't think. It's been so long. It's been so depressing. But you know, we got straight into it. You know, with obviously like Eddie Howe wanted to sign Matt Target straight away, and then Nick Pope, and then Dan Ashworth kind of came in at the right time, because I think they were weighing up whether to settle on the right amount of money. I'm not sure the exact amount it was with Dan Ashworth, maybe like 1.5 or something. I think Brighton wanted more money, just like they do for as we see in the transfer market for players right now. But we got him over the line. That was fantastic. Got him to work, and I think him and Eddie Howe had a busy summer, just like scouting all of Europe and all of England for the best, for what's going to fit the system best. You know.
Yeah, no, definitely. I mean, the summer is definitely weird. It was a little bittersweet for me at first, because I mean, it would have been bittersweet for both of us, really. It's like I was really looking forward to that USA preseason tour, and you know, going the way it did really really disappointed me, because I was pretty much planning my summer around it. And then,
exactly, we were.
And then that didn't happen, and I was like, oh, okay, well, all right, I guess I'll just, you know, stay in paradise for the rest of the summer then. But but yeah, you know, that bummed me out, but overall, like, don't really care. The season's coming. The summer, I think personally, has been fantastic. I mean, I know you've touched on who we brought in, and I definitely think it was the right moves for to bring Target in. You know, he's already battle tested. He's proven for our system and everything like that. I think that I know it took a minute, and I know we were looking at other options and stuff like that. And I know that there were fans who were wanting other players, a more exciting signing. And honestly, I just wanted somebody that I knew could deliver, that wanted to be here. And that's exactly who we got.
Yeah.
And, you know, he fought for that contract for us, you know? So I thought that was massively deserved. Dan Ashworth coming in, you know, I mean, anyone that could bat an eye at Dan Ashworth coming in is clearly swiftly forgotten what Lee Charnley was like. You know,
exactly. Exactly.
So night and day.
And we'll briefly touch on the new CEO later. But Dan Ashworth, I don't think the last sporting director, I think, was Dennis Wise. How times have changed. The Cockney Mafia. Come on.
I know. It's just like I still trip out. I still trip out on just how well this, how well everything's going. Like it's weird not being super, obviously I'm concerned because I want us to build a stronger squad. Right. I want us to go in the trajectory that I know we're going to go. But overall, I have not for a second forgot what we were dealing with for the past 14 years, by any means, and
exactly.
Yeah, and so it's definitely a ray of sunshine. Ashworth coming in, Nick Pope, honestly, I know that a goalkeeper wasn't necessarily our number one priority this summer, but it made sense. I mean, he's world class. I'm happy that we have him. I thought that was a fantastic signing. I also think that because of Burnley's situation, it made sense to go after him now, because if we didn't, somebody else would have.
For sure. To get him, for 10 million pounds, 30 years old. And I think, I see a lot of, if you go on Twitter and do a quick flick, you don't see too many outraged stories, but, some of the channels, I'm not going to mention who, but they have a strong opinion about just spend the money. You can't just, you, unfortunately, because of certain rules, if you look at what Everton has gone through, what Wolves have gone through, I'm not sure if Leeds went through at some point, but Man City had a 100 million fine, all these kind of things. We're not Man City, we're not Liverpool just yet, we're not Man United just yet, we're not all these bigger clubs that can spend a lot of money because their turnover is just bigger than ours, and then that's it. It's simple as that for any listeners in the US. Why we can't just go out and break the bank and buy five superstars, you know what I mean? So
and also I who doesn't want superstars at their club? Of course I want superstars and stuff like that, but I also want us to be really smart about it. And I think some people have lost sight of that. Cool, we could go plug a bunch of players in and see if it works, and then we're in loads of debt and we're in situations that we don't want to be in. I mean, Man United, it is finally caught up to Man United, right? And for lack of better words, they're a shit show right now.
Shit show.
And it's been season after season. Even bringing Ten Hag in, I'm not really optimistic for them. I think that he'll help revamp, but he's got a big job to do because there's just years of error there. And on top of that, they haven't changed the back room, have they? Exactly. So it's
and also bringing in is it Martinez? He's 5'6". He's like a midget. Imagine him and Dan Burn. You know what I mean? Him and Cameron. I don't need to question Man United, but I just think their whole debacle. Look at the Man City and Chelsea, what they're doing right now. The pressure that those clubs are under to make a decision, and the new Chelsea owners paying over the odds for Cucurella and Sterling leaving Man City could be a mistake. Look at Grealish. Has Grealish proven? Will Grealish live up to it?
It's also him going to Chelsea. I get it. Yeah, but also he's walked into a club where they're not missing anything in that area. I mean, he brings a different level. I'm not going to deny that. Yeah. And I love Raheem Sterling. He's clearly out of our grasp this time around. I would have loved to have him, because I still think we need a right winger. But I just Chelsea doesn't make sense to me right now. They're in this weird transformation. They've got new owners I'm frankly not impressed with, but I'm always conscientious of American owners. I know we have some good ones in the Prem now, Liverpool, for example. But also, just because of Liverpool, everybody says, oh, Liverpool have American owners. And I'm like, well, if you look at the history of football, that's the exception to the rule. Americans don't tend to do well, and or if they do, they run their clubs on debt because that's what they're used to.
Yeah.
And then you get into situations that a lot of clubs are in. I mean, even Burnley got screwed by that and stuff like that. And so, and I do think that was an American owner as well.
Burnley owners, yeah.
The one when it found out they were like a 90 million debt or whatever, and that definitely, I mean, that definitely plays into it. I mean, it's interesting. I've said from the second Chelsea got bought, they are going to slide down, which is going to make room for people to rise up. I think Spurs look really good, to be honest with you.
Yeah, Spurs have done the good business, but again, certain signings I don't know about. I trust Antonio Conte. I think he's a hard guy to work with. He'll expect the best. So he'll drive the team forward. But Richarlison, 60 million quid, scored 5 goals last season. You know what I mean? So it's I don't see him. And that's where these like clubs spending 60 million quid on Richarlison. It's just like, is he going to improve? Is he going to improve the team? I don't know. So
yeah. I mean, it's definitely interesting. I mean, we could talk about loads of other clubs all we want if we really wanted to, but I mean, we should get back on track.
Yeah, I think the point though we're trying to make is basically that we both agree it's been a good summer because we're trying to build the foundation. We've got the new CEO, the sporting director. They're on long contracts with Eddie Howe settled. He's moved his family up. We've got a solid defense now. Yeah.
I'm glad you said that because like that's huge for me. Defensively, we look scary. Healthy. The additions that we've brought in with Botman. Obviously, we got to factor in the additions that we brought in last season. Dan Burn, giving Shaw the extension he deserves. Of course, Trippier being healthy for a whole, hopefully a whole season for us. But also, putting like, whereas like I know Pope, going back to the Pope of it all, right? I know it wasn't a massive priority, especially for a lot of fans. Yeah. But I do think that takes so much pressure off the defense, right? Whereas I love Dubravka. Dubravka has been a very good servant for us. He's fantastic. No one saw him being the goalkeeper he ended up becoming for us.
Right. Yeah.
He's got mistakes in him, but I also think that Nick Pope brings a level of confidence to an English defensive line that Dubravka cannot.
The point, I think, what Eddie Howe loves about Pope is much better with his feet.
Yeah,
I mean, his distribution.
Yeah, and you need that nowadays.
That's it. I think Eddie.
Key.
Sorry.
Distribution's key.
It is. It's just like just quickly watching. I watched Real Madrid versus Juventus at the Rose Bowl last week, and just.
I know I'm jealous about that. By the way,
teams. Juventus had them pinned back, but they just were calm on the ball and were so confident to play out from the back. Just play out, just keep it calm. And there was one passage of play we did against Bilbao last weekend where had the ball in our half. Bilbao were pressing hard, and Botman got the ball and played a nice through ball to Bruno, 1-2, Joelinton, and then Bruno shot. Just very nice, like a string of like 25, 30 passes where they couldn't get the ball off us. And that's what Eddie Howe wants to play.
Yeah.
So
and when you put it that way, it totally makes sense. And I'm really excited about it. That is definitely a signing, like I said, that I really didn't see happening this summer, and I couldn't be happier with it. I still think there's more to come, but before we get to that, we still got to bring up. I mean, we beat AC Milan for Botman. That's huge,
massive, and I think it was to do with his agent as well as Botman's goals of being in the Premiership. 22 years old, I think, and he's only still in the under 23, the under 23 Dutch team. So he's not really established in the Dutch national team, but he probably will be. He will be. So I think he's a great addition.
I do too, and
I think his weakness is the pace. He's not He's not totally slow, obviously, but I think they kind of know that. So I'm sure some teams will probably expose us this season when we play expansively. If we watch the Benfica game in preseason,
Yeah,
I watched that. Newcastle, great going forward, but when you're playing against Benfica, they're just going to rip you apart. We just with so many gaps, and then Trippier isn't Trippier of 2 or 3 years ago. He's Trippier, 31 years old now. He's still a very, very good player. But I think you'll see a good partnership of Trippier and Kraft like switching off. You know what I mean? So yeah.
And and giving Kraft that extension as well. We should touch on that. And I'll be the first to admit it. I can happily admit when I'm wrong or when I have to change my stance on somebody. And I know I'm not the only one, you included. I've been slating him for years. He last season, he really did. But
he was great. Yeah,
he worked for that. He deserved it. I honestly, I thought he was going to be one of those Mike Ashley duds. And he really put in a shift for us last season. He turned up when he absolutely needed to. He clearly reacted to Eddie Howe coming in, and he deserved that extension. And
he did.
And I'm excited to see what he brings to the team. And I'll be I'll happily change my tune on him, which is crazy. But I'll do it.
Look, even if you look at all the players who've moved out, Lascelles is still a liability, unfortunately.
I know.
He'll be. I see his positional play is better, but in the air is his kind of weakness. In the air, like you saw against Benfica, corner to corner. So there's got to be some better communication around that. But
I do think. Oh, go ahead.
Moving out Clark, Gale, Hendrick, get them off the payroll has been a big thing. That'll be a big thing,
No, that was good. It could still happen. I personally thought Lascelles would be going to Nottingham Forest, to be honest with you. It just made sense. It looks like he's going to stay. I love Lascelles, but you're right. He is a liability. And when I look at the options we have now, because we actually have options for the first time in 4 years. It makes sense. And, and maybe the other thing is I would love to see him fight for a place in that and turn into, something we didn't see coming too. I would love to be proven wrong about. I love Lascelles.
Exactly. But to be fair, Lascelles, might come up with 2 or 3 goals from the old header. You know what I mean?
I know.
You know what I mean?
Like 3 or 4 seasons ago when he was our top goal scorer for months.
Sure. Yeah. He's got a good knock on it. He can get up there and get a good knock on. Like I'd love to see Dan Burn get involved. I'd see Botman get involved in the top. So, no, I think that defensively, I think we've got good reserves. We've got 4 quality centre backs. Obviously, Dan and Burn, and obviously you can tell he likes Burn and Shaw. He likes Botman, but I'm sure Botman and Shaw will work well together as well. So, I think he likes that.
Yeah, no, it's definitely good. Our defense is the strongest it's been in a while. I'm very, very pleased with the additions that we've brought in and the extensions that we've given the reaction that they had to Howe. I think that it's just going to set us up for a very, very good season.
And I think like Eddie Howe, I watched him this week, in an interview, and it's about like that next step progression, like getting into that top 10, getting into that top 9, getting rid of Wolves, the Palace, getting ahead of Leicester. West Ham have done well in the transfer system and the transfer window. They're just that one step ahead of us a little bit in terms of like buying ability, that attractability for players, being in London. So I think once we're like established top 8, top 7, then we'll get the next level of player, and then with the building process, more sponsorship will come in from other areas. We've got the new sleeve sponsor, all that kind of stuff will come into play, like a new shirt sponsor. The Fun 88 contract runs out at the end of this season. Yeah. So it's all like we just have to be. I think we just have to get behind the team and just to say, okay, well, we are 7, 8.
Yeah, you're right. We got to practice some type of patience, but also understand that we've had a turnaround quicker than I think we realized. Like I felt like last season was a total whirlwind. Like I couldn't even necessarily, it was just such a big wave of emotions, just like from the takeover progressing through to the rest of the season. I just couldn't, like, it was just so much. I mean, it was like sensory overload, really.
Right.
And yeah. And so like, I really do think that we've got to take a minute to see where we were and where we've come from, and understand that this isn't an overnight thing. It's something that we're building. And we'll get into like predictions for the season in a bit, but I guess, speaking of like transfers and stuff like that, let's stay on that for a moment.
Yeah.
I'm very pleased with everyone that's come in, but it would, we definitely have to talk about what we need to still improve on and kind of the state of the transfer window for us. Cause I know that there is quite a bit of, there's quite a bit of controversy in the Twitter world about what we've done and where we're going. And, I kind of voiced where I stand on things. Mm-hmm. I understand the Mike Ashley PTSD. We've all got it, but
I saw that tweet. I saw that.
Yeah. And it's just like, like, hold on, like, let's also look at where we're at and what we accomplished last season. Like that run after the break was something no one's ever done before. Like after the Christmas break. Yeah. We've got to factor that in, and we're an even stronger side now. And do I want another striker? Yes. Do I want a right winger? More than anything. Would I love James Madison? Oh my God, that would change. Oh, Jesus. I would love that. I still think that that's on the table. And I still think that filling those two positions are on the table.
Yeah.
It's just not going the way that it's just, we're just not getting the first person we look at. Who cares?
Look, again, you just have to like, just one step at a time. You need
trust
to
the process.
Trust it, because we've got great owners. They know what they're doing. Just look at what they've done in terms of like the stadium. They've put in some new artwork, I think, in the stadium. And
Cleaned it.
What?
Huh? They cleaned it. Pretty sure they finally got rid of that dead pigeon.
Yeah. Cleaned it. They've got a training ground upgrade. All done, and it started as soon as the season finishes. Like they're just doing enough. They're like, okay, we know we want to be like amazing, but it's going to take 10 years. So it's like, how do we kind of create a kind of a Leicester story about winning the FA Cup or the the leagues or getting up there, top 4, top 6 or something, right? How do we do that? Hire a great manager, hire a great system. And remember, we were the biggest spending club in January in all of Europe.
That's the other thing. I think people forget that we've put quite a bit of money into this.
Huge.
And we have to be mindful. It's like, we don't want to go in debt. We were essentially, and whatever, like, I hate Mike Ashley. Everybody knows that. Yeah. But fair enough. He gave our new owners a clean slate, right? No debt. Yeah. If I would actually be more concerned if we just started pumping, started just blowing money. I would be like, oh my God, like, I don't, this,
that's the thing.
It isn't FIFA takeover, it's a video game. This is real life consequences.
I actually quite laughed at when I heard the first, like, Newcastle bids 40 million for James Madison. I was like, 40 million? I was like, it's a bit cheeky. Murdad.
But yeah, I know, right? Yeah, nice one, Murdad.
Right.
But also, like,
I'll give you.
I was talking with somebody on Twitter about this. I work in sales and stuff like that, and I've done that for a very long time, and negotiations and stuff like that. That I've had to negotiate on all these deals and everything. Like, it's standard business practice. If everybody in the industry is highballing us, right?
Yes.
Okay, so let's lowball everybody and try and see what middle ground we can cultivate there. That's what I would do.
Exactly, and they go to clubs like, we know you need money, so like,
Leicester, you need money. Sell us Madison. Here's 40 mil.
Yeah, here's it is. Yeah, and you don't like it, we'll go in with a second bid with like a partial payment plan and just like go a little bit higher, because if you're noticing all these, like, we're rumored 20 million here, 30 million there, because the Man Uniteds of the world or the Chelseas, it's like, who's the Leicester defender? Fofana?
Yeah. Fofana.
Sorry. They bid, I think they bid 70 or something. It got rejected. It's just like, it's a lot of money for a defender. Like those clubs, the Chelseas, have to spend 70 million on each player is 70 million. So that's like 210. Like it's just bananas. Like we can build a team on 100 million, 150, 160 million and get like a whole, basically several players. It's going to work.
And Chelsea can go and do this, right? And they still miss out on half the players they're looking at to a club that has no money whatsoever, Barcelona.
Yes.
And is constantly like, basically like, oh, we have to sell this player to bring this player in. Like that's such a dangerous game. But also like going back to Chelsea, it's like for these new owners coming into Chelsea, right? They've got to spend 200 million or else their fans are going to lose their mind because that's what they're used to. Right.
Yeah, that's right.
Where are we getting off thinking we need to be doing that? Does no one remember when we couldn't get Hamza Chowdhury?
Yeah, exactly. It's just, I think people have gone from we're spending as little as money as possible to now we've spent a lot of money, in January, and now it's like, all right, summer's going to be coming. It's like, no, it's like we need to build the profitability of the club. We need to get the team playing great. Sell out the stadium. Look at like the women's team. We need to.
They're bringing in funding for them, which is fantastic. They absolutely deserve it, and
we need to get a loan from the bank, and like leverage that money because PIF funds a lot of things across the world. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So like, I know Newcastle fans want it to be all about us, but like, they're not going to invest like $2 billion. Overnight. It's got to be spread. We've got to get money coming in, and that's it, in and out.
Yeah. No, it's true, and I like I said, I like that we're not letting ourselves get taken advantage of. I like that we're standing firm because I want a striker, I want a right winger, I want them so bad, Rich. Right. I really, really do. But I also think we've got a strong squad, stronger than we've seen in years. We've got a great manager. We've got great support. But I also think we're being smart in maybe making sure we've got something available in January in case something goes the wrong way for one of these players that we've brought in, right? And I look, I think we're going to see more from Chris Wood. Do I think that he's the answer? Absolutely not. Do I think that he can bring us something that Dwight Gale couldn't? 100%. Callum Wilson, fit, world class. So if we get him for half a season, that's way better than we've had prior. I'll be happy with that. If he could be fit for this whole season, these issues go away. Do I still want, like, personally, I would love 2 more strikers. I would love another experienced one. I would love a young, pacey one. I wanted the Ekatike. He didn't want to come. I don't really care. I honestly, it was like, cool. I love the idea of us bringing in a striker for the future that's young and exciting. But I also think about João Felix and how he's not really done that great at Atletico Madrid and how much they paid for him. I think about who's that young kid, the Portuguese player that Wolves brought in 3 years ago, who, was it Fabio Silva? And he's not done much either. And I'm like, okay, like, this is what I don't understand is like, you want your team to succeed. You want to make that impact. We want to do that. Perfect. I want those things too. I don't want someone that takes 5 years to develop right now. If they don't even want to come. Right. And so like somebody that wants to come, we get those agreement in place. They're young, exciting, stuff like that. Bring them in. I want a young, pacey one. But if I only had to pick between one or the other, I want one that wants to come here that gets battle tested in the Prem, and personally, I won't ever say I'm glad that a player gets injured, but I didn't want us to go after Calvert-Lewin, and now that's not an option because he's out for a few months with Everton, injured.
When they were whispering, I think the whispering would be like a month ago about like 60 million for Calvert-Lewin. I was like,
it's not worth it. You know?
Well, maybe if he's fully fit, but I'm, from growing up, like we were spoiled with like getting the best ever goal scorer in Alan Shearer for 15 million quid.
Yeah.
So it's like, for me, it's still like, when a player like Madison scores 12 goals and is involved in like 8 or 10 assists, so he's involved in 20 goals for the season, and obviously with current prices, yeah, you can get behind the 40 to 60 range. You can get behind it. You still don't agree with it, but yeah, like you could get 2 James Madisons for 100 million if they want to get 100 million. You know what I mean? You only want to spend 100 million on like just a real gem that's going to be just a superstar for you.
Yeah, no, I totally agree, and I think a lot of those. That's the other thing too. It's like there are just players that we can afford, but they're just kind of out of reach for us, and it's not worth paying the extra money we'd have to pay with the things that we can't guarantee. It's like we can't guarantee Champions League football right now. We have to be realistic. And we have to be realistic. Like, I know what we're going to do. I'm nothing but optimistic for Newcastle. I'm always blindly optimistic, but I've never been this optimistic for Newcastle, and I'm always quite optimistic, right? But at the same time, like, we were pretty much relegated last year. Let's be realistic on where we're at.
Dead and buried.
Yeah, we were dead in the water, and by the grace of God, or whatever you want to call it, actually, by the grace of Stavely,
yes,
Eddie Howe, we did the impossible, and we made the impossible possible. And I think that it's been a long summer. We've forgotten about that for a second. Yeah. I haven't for a second. And I'm just excited. I'm excited for what's to come next, because I know that what I read today, Eddie's been assured that he will get those attacking players that he wants before the window's shut. Would I have liked him in before our first game of the season? Who wouldn't? But also, there's a reason that it's still open for another month. Yeah. Jury's still out on where we go with that. And we could beat this dead horse and talk about it all day. Everybody else is. Sure. But just really for time's sake, I think we should keep it moving forward a bit.
Yeah, for sure.
But real quick before we do, though, if you could have one striker right now, who would it be? Realistically.
A realistic striker?
Yeah.
I just
right now, isn't it?
It's what? Sorry.
It's tough.
I just don't know the strikers that are available. Pookie, Norwich. Like, you know what I mean? Like,
I would have wanted him 2 years ago.
Yeah, but there was whispers of a young kid from Salzburg, the Sasko guy.
Yeah, we're definitely we're looking away from England, and
he looks very tasty. There's a new one for Rennes. I can't think of his name. As an attacking right winger, he again looks very nice. So I just kind of, and that's the thing. A lot of clubs are finding it really hard to find like an out and out centre forward that's going to guarantee you 15, 20 goals, because a lot of teams now are playing the one striker up front. So
and also it's also when you have that type of striker, they want Champions League football, because they know that they're in demand right now, and and like I said, I'm optimistic. We will get to the point where we can get the players that we want for the money that they're worth. Right now, it's going to be a bit of it's going to be a bit choppy waters. In terms of business and stuff like that.
Yeah.
But I'm still. Go ahead.
I think in terms of Dan Ashworth, he likes to buy the players low, sell high.
Yeah, he's smart, and I trust him. I'm excited for what he's going to do. And that's the other thing too. It's like with him, it's like when you bring in a high level person like that into any new company, and if we're looking at the club like a company, because it is, right? And
it is.
There is a period where that person has to get ramped up, onboarded. They also have to get acclimated. They have to kind of show their vision, but then before they can act, there's a lot of stuff that goes into just getting set up before you can hit the ground running. And we've only had him really in action for 2 months now.
Yeah.
So like I said, I think we just need patience, and I'm excited. I couldn't be more excited. I'm always excited for the season. We both are, but like
Yeah.
I have never been this excited, Of course I haven't. I fell in love with Newcastle during the Ashley era. I don't even know what excitement is.
Yeah. I'm keeping my feet on the ground. I think I'm when we come against the top teams, it'll be business. I think we might nick a couple of wins off the top teams.
Yeah.
At home, maybe a random one away. But typically, what will happen is with Eddie Howe's teams, they'll try to play expansive, and we'll just get torn apart because we're trying to win the game. So inevitably, that's going to happen. There'll be a few times this season where you think, "Oh my God, we got stuffed 3-0 or something, or 4-1." But because we get ripped apart by a Liverpool or a Man City, but maybe less this season, that will happen. So,
yeah, no, exactly. And so, I mean, going off of that, let's talk a little bit about Saturday before we get into the game of it all. I went out to Bluefoot yesterday for the preseason kickoff thing that Rodney was doing, and if you do listen, I posted a link on Twitter. Rodney and Paul, Rodney's the manager of Bluefoot. He hosts us every weekend. He gives the Geordies a place to go and a bunch of other clubs. And we love him, even though he's a Spurs supporter. They have their own weekly podcast where they talk about all things football, but they also talk about the football community. And, a bunch of the San Diego mags are on that regularly and stuff like that. If that's something that you're ever interested in listening to, feel free to tune in. But yeah, so I went to their podcast event, and first off, everyone was really jealous that we'd signed Botman, which I loved hearing. I have never walked into a football event and everyone's like, "We're jealous of your signings." I'm like, damn straight you are.
Right. Yeah, that's it. That's exactly right.
So that was cool. But I'm looking forward to getting back to the Bluefoot on Saturday with our whole crew and and all the other supporters groups that go there too, because fuck them on a match day. They're playing against us, but they're all good people as well.
Oh, they're amazing. They're great.
Yeah, and it's just a great community, and it was really nice to kind of warm it up on it last night with a few of them, have a few pints and stuff like that, and keep it sensible. But going into Saturday, it's going to be great to see the whole crew again. Our other favorite group, Wolves, will be there, so we get to see kickoff. So that'll be good. So going into Saturday, what are your predictions?
Well, I mean, I think Nottingham Forest will come at us for sure.
100%. They've got a point to prove.
They have. So I think it'll be an entertaining game. I think we'll get frustrated at certain things, but then if the game opens up, I think it could be made for an exciting match. But I would probably a prediction for a scoreline would be maybe a 2-2 or 3-1 to us.
Okay.
Okay.
I like that.
I just think because the first game of the season, Nottingham Forest, they've bought all these new players, which
they haven't gelled though. We don't know that they've gelled yet.
Which, it can be a good and a bad thing. Jesse Lingard, I don't think he will be. My prediction is there'll be some moments where he'll show his magic, but he's signed for 1 year, $200,000 a week. He's going for the money, and I think our lovely fans will give him a bit of a give him a few songs on Saturday, hopefully. So give him a hard time.
I'm wondering about his fitness. Look, I don't think that Forest get West Ham Jesse Lingard. I really don't. Jesse Lingard was playing for a spot at Man United. He did not want to be at West Ham. That was a good loan for him. He looked fantastic. Would I have loved him in our squad when we had the chance to maybe get him? 100%. He clearly did not want to come to Newcastle. I think he wanted to come for that loan because he wanted to get guaranteed some play. Yeah. But he chased the money. He signed a deal. He guaranteed himself that if they get relegated, he can go wherever he wants. I don't really want a player like that in our squad, to be honest with you. I do think that Nottingham Forest, they have, first off, I'm very happy that Nottingham Forest are back in the Prem. They're a big club with a big history. They deserve it. They worked hard for it. They are going to want to make a statement. And I don't blame them. I don't blame them whatsoever. That team is very, very new. And also still need some time to gel. We've brought in a couple acquisitions, but for the most part, we're that scary side that we were at the end of last season.
Yeah.
I think we're even going to be even better. I've already said what my prediction was on Rodney's podcast yesterday, so I'll have to stick to that. I said we'd win 2-1. I think it's silly to think that Nottingham Forest won't at least get one in. I don't want to see what Brentford did last season, ruin our day.
Yeah,
but I'm optimistic we'll win 2-1.
I think the onus is. I mean, anything can happen. But I would imagine if we got. Imagine if we got three. Imagine if we got 3 wins. Forest, Brighton, and then City. Because Brighton away, Forest and City at home. It's quite nice to get Man City early on as well. I mean, we're talking about Forest, but just to, if we got a good start, just to take the pressure off a little bit. But yeah, we'll see.
Yeah, no, we'll definitely see. I do like that we have City early too. That will be an interesting game. No, I definitely think we win on Saturday. I'm looking forward to it. I know a lot of the lads and a bunch of the other football supporters groups are planning for a bit of a session welcoming football back. So I know Saturday's going to be kind of heavy, but I can't wait. It's going to be great. And then I guess before we wrap it up, and talk a little bit more about what's the future of the United States. What's your just thoughts going into the season overall? I have my predictions. I've been saying them for a while now. I'm going to stick by them.
Okay. I think my prediction for the season would, as in other teams or just us?
Just us.
Just us for now. That's it for sure. So before the transfer window will close, we'll add definitely 1, maybe 2 players in an attacking position. So going to be an attacking midfielder and a striker, maybe, and then I think we will play strong squads in the cup tournaments. So the Carabao or the FA, depending on the draws.
Yeah,
I think we'll do a cup run to the latter stages, and then
you're very careful there to the latter stages.
Yeah, well, I mean, because the Newcastle breaks my heart. You know what I mean? So it's. No,
you're playing it safe. I
would love an FA Cup win. Would be fantastic.
Yeah,
because it gets us into Europe. So, but I think someone like the players we have, like Botman and Bruno, they won't be pushing for that 7th place, that European place. You know what I mean?
Yeah. No, I think Europa League Conference or Europa League is on the table. Do I think it's a guarantee?
It's on the table for sure. Again, a couple of things we'll need to have a fit Wilson and a fit Trippier. Those are the keys to our.
Those are key. And also depending on the other striker that we bring in, but no, I agree with you. I think that we can have a good cup run. I think that might be a priority for Eddie Howe. Because it would be not a quick, but it would be the statement to make. I don't think we're going to win the Prem this season. I'm not that delusional, anyways. I think seventh is the far stretch. I think 8th is really, really possible. I think they're up for grabs. I definitely think that we're going to see a different change to the top 4 this season. I mean, Man City and Liverpool, they're in their own league, but I definitely see Chelsea moving down. I do see Spurs moving up, unfortunately. I do think that Arsenal look very good. We'll see what happens in the season. But I do think that, Gabriel Jesus was kind of one of the things they were screaming for. And I was actually telling this to one of the Arsenal lads last night. It makes total sense because it was a club that needed him, but it's also the kind of club he needs. And I also chalk us to that. I think Gabriel Jesus was just a little bit out of our reach. With where we're at right now, but I would have loved him, and I think that he would have loved to come to Newcastle if we were just a little bit further along in our plan.
That's right,
because the project is there for a player like that.
Everything happens for a reason. Look, we'll get the right players at the right time. We'll miss out players all the time, no matter how good we are, how bad we are. And I'd like to, well, I think a solid top 10 finish for sure. My slight concerns are teams like Villa and West Ham.
Villa and West Ham are the ones to be worried about, 100%.
No, not necessarily worried. I think we can give them a great.
Concerned. Okay.
I think we can give them a great match off. And I think I like how we've had basically from January all the way through the summer, good preseason. Not many players. Only Shelby is injured. But Longstaff and Bruno and Joe Linton are like, and Willock, and now we're seeing like Elliot Anderson coming in to play.
Yeah, which is exciting. And speaking of Willock, I mean, I'm excited. I think Anderson definitely deserves a number in the squad. But speaking of Willock, I'm really interested to see what Willock does this season because he's had a good preseason. I mean, when I say he's had a good preseason, I mean he's had a full season training under a manager that knows how to train people, right? And he's somebody that we know can perform. Like, oh my God, if the Willock that was playing for his Arsenal contract on loan for us showed up under Eddie Howe, all of a sudden, maybe all of a sudden, like if we have attacking mids that turn up, all of a sudden, do we care that much that we've missed out on Madison if we have, right? Obviously, do I want Madison more than anything? I would love a Madison jersey. I'll be the first one buying one out here. You know that. I think everyone knows that. But I do think that I think a lot of people have slept on Willock is basically what I'm saying. And I'm really interested. I have high expectations for him. I think that Guimaraes has set the tone, and those expectations will continue to rise on him. I'm excited. I'm wondering how he's going to be in terms of getting in goal because I'm worrisome that he might be playing a little deeper with Shelby injured, but he's world class. Joelinton, world class.
I have a good question for you.
Okay,
who's going to get sent off first, Joelinton or Bruno?
Joelinton.
Totally.
100% Joelinton. If Lascelles isn't on the pitch, it's definitely going to be Joelinton.
I just think I've looked at his game and there was a couple of times last season where Joelinton was really aggressive, which I love. The shithouses where you're getting stuck in is fantastic. But against Tottenham, pushing players, like getting fired up. And I think Eddie Howe likes that. And obviously against Benfica, he was going hard and gets himself booked and that kind of thing. So he might have learned from that mistake, but I think teams might rile him up, and I think he's quite reactive just because he's so passionate. So I'm not gonna mind if he gets sent off and maybe cost a game, but that would be a one like random little thing, you know what I mean?
Yeah, no, I'm right there with you, 100%.
Yeah.
All right, before we wrap it all up, maybe we'll talk a little bit about kind of the future of the United States this season for it's season 2. This is obviously like last season, our just introductory episode to all of you guys. We're back. We're better than ever. We can't wait. But we've got lots of exciting stuff planned for this next run of the United States. Obviously, we're going to still do what you all love and feature, American-based supporters groups and fans all over the country. We love, obviously it's why we do this. We love connecting with our United States fan base, and we've got some really, really cool supporters groups that we want to feature coming up and a little more consistently as well. But, we're also, I'll let you share this, but we're also going to be doing a little bit of sequel episodes where we revisit some groups.
Yes.
But what are we going to do instead of just revisiting them?
Oh, instead of just revisiting them?
Yeah, we're going to visit them.
We're going to visit them, yeah. We're going to be coming to you in your hometown. That's right.
Exactly. We definitely want to do a bit of United States tourism this season and come out and visit some of the groups that we've already featured on the podcast, like Denver and Baltimore and stuff like that. And so we're going to plan a few of those out throughout the season as well. And then we've also got some really, really cool interviews that are in the works as well, that are kind of outside that, but really applicable to everything that we do here at the United States. So it's exciting. I'm really excited. I like the plans that we've got. I'm happy that we're back doing this. I mean, I missed you, but I didn't miss you because I've seen you all summer. You live down the street from me, but you know, I've missed you in this capacity.
I know, right? Yeah,
you know, I'm just doing this with you.
We get to be ourselves. That's it.
Well, yeah, it's going to be exciting. So yeah, everyone, you know, this was just a little recap, little hi, we're back kind of episode. Hope you enjoyed kind of tuning in. Look out for us. We'll be coming at you soon with a new supporters group feature very soon. Before we wrap it up, Rich, you got anything to add?
No. I think we're good. I think we covered everything. I'm just very excited to come visit some Toon Army supporters groups wherever you are. And if you're new and you need a great team to support, send us a message.
Yeah, definitely. If you're listening and we've not messaged you yet, pop us a message. We'd love to feature you. Yeah, I just recently saw that there's a Toon Army Omaha. They just requested to follow me on Instagram, which I'm really excited about because I go to Omaha once a year and I didn't know that existed. So I'm wondering if it's new. So I'll be messaging them for sure. If you're listening, Omaha, we want you on the show.
That's right.
My best friend, who's unfortunately a Norwich supporter, lives in Council Bluffs, Iowa. But no, it's gonna be cool. I'm really happy that the season's back. I'm really happy to be doing this with you again. I'm really, really grateful for Gallowgateshots and all our friends at Gallowgateshots that put all of this on, give us this platform and support us on and off the content. And other than that, roll on Saturday, right?
That's it. Give everyone a follow, everyone a like, subscribe, give us a follow, give us a retweet, and we will see everyone Saturday and we'll give you a match recap. All right. Awesome.
Definitely.
All right,
Rich. I will see you Saturday.
We'll see you then.
All right, everybody. Thank you again for tuning into the United States. We're back. We're happy to be back. We'll talk to you soon. Thanks again, Gallowgateshots.